While the whole Oscar Piastri situation is going on, one driver on the grid is in the exact opposite position. Oscar hasn't even driven an F1 yet, but two teams are fighting over him, ready to go to court for him. But one driver on the grid who has driven in F1 has teams signing up drivers as quickly as possible to avoid signing him instead. Mick Schumacher's contract with Haas will run out at the end of the year, and as things stand, he might be out of a seat as well. When the Aston Martin seat became free following Sebastian Vettel's retirement from Formula 1, many people thought he might move there. Seb himself even said that he would like to see Mick take his spot. Seb learned a lot from Mick's father Michael during his early years in the sport and has always looked after him as if he were family. Aston Martin though had other plans, and as quickly as we could consider the idea of Mick at Aston Martin, they signed Fernando Alonso from Alpine instead. Okay, we exaggerated a little by saying that Aston Martin signed Alonso out of fear of having to sign Mick, but it was a good catch line, right? Anyway, down to the serious stuff. What is actually going on with Mick Schumacher's Haas contract? And will he have a drive for next year? And if so, where will it be? Things for Mick haven't always been perfect at Haas. His first season was one of the worst in recent Formula 1 memory, surpassed and maybe overlooked because of his teammate Nikita Mazepin had an even worse year. In a few years' time, people will look back at that 2021 Haas season and wonder what on earth was going on at the team. Since then though, Mick has improved. He actually scored some points this season. Up until Silverstone, during the first 9 races of the year, pressure started mounting on the young German driver. He had a lot to live up to trying to follow in his father's footsteps. I'm sure at times he has felt the Schumacher name is more a curse than a blessing. The talk of the media was that if he couldn't improve and start scoring points, then he was 100% gone at the end of the season. The Haas team is ambitious this year. They want to be the best of the back 5 teams. Their only real competition for 6th place in the constructors' standings has been Alfa Romeo, led by Valtteri Bottas, a driver who looks to have found joy in life again after being moved on by Mercedes. Mick hadn't been able to secure them points or really been close to scoring them points all season. What he has done though was completely destroy 2 F1 cars. If there is one way to piss off Gunther Steiner, it is by wasting his money. The Haas team aren't cash rich, and when he split his second F1 car of the season in half at Monaco, he must have got the telling off of a lifetime by Gunther. I'm sure you can imagine how that conversation went. Things got better for him in Great Britain, where he scored his first career points in Formula 1 with an 8th place finish. The relief must have been immense. The weight of the Schumacher name will have felt light on his shoulders for the first time in his F1 career. Finally, the story was about Mick, not Michael. After earning his first points with an 8th place finish in the British Grand Prix, the 23-year-old spoke about the tension with Steiner and what it meant for their relationship. Yes, there was tension, but that's normal. We all want to score points, and I think that's part of the frustration, and I understand that. And obviously, places like Jeddah, where the car was broken, is something quite expensive to us, and therefore I do understand that. But it is also something that motivates us. And I wouldn't say it tears us apart, but it actually bonds us closer together and makes us try to score more points. The fact he mentions the Jeddah crash, another expensive one by the way, when talking about his first points shows you just how much the telling off from Gunther stuck in his head. The next race though, he managed not just 1 place better, but 2. His 6th place finish in Austria at the Red Bull Ring was an outstanding drive, and proof that his Silverstone result wasn't going to be a one-off. 15th and 14th place in France and Hungary though were not so impressive, and going into the summer break, Gunther Steiner has very publicly stated that they are not in contract talks at the moment. By now, you all know that silly season is in full swing, though it might be renamed to scandal season after everything that's happened in the last few weeks. For a team like Haas, the happenings at teams above them makes things very interesting, and having an open seat on your team might not be a bad thing right now. Gunther Steiner says he has no intention of speaking with his drivers until after the summer break. He also will not wait to see what Ferrari has to say about Mick Schumacher's future. As a Ferrari Academy driver, the Scuderia would like to see him have a seat in the sport for next year. No, we don't have to wait to see what Ferrari say, Gunther said. We never decide the driver before the summer break, and we will not do so this year. Obviously, I'll start to speak with Gene over the summer break. Obviously, Haas have control over who ends up in their seat. But will it be Mick? Contract negotiations won't begin until after the summer break, and in the meantime, there are a lot of spots available for moving. And with Daniel Ricciardo available, Mick's spot may be in serious danger. The biggest place up for grabs on the grid is the Alpine seat, assuming they don't force Oscar Piastri to drive in it. Let's be honest, he isn't going to be driving for Alpine next season, not after all the damage he's done since the start of August. Could Mick make the move to Alpine? It would certainly be a shock for many people, us included. His performances today haven't really shown the level of promise or potential that Alpine would be looking for. They are always talking about their 100 race plan, the goal of which is to win F1 races. Is Mick the driver to help them achieve that? No, unfortunately not. He doesn't have the experience to help the team move forward. He needs a team that can help him move forward instead. Mick needs a team that will help him continue his development, to help him achieve the long-term goal of winning a Drivers' Championship with Ferrari. There is a team that fits the bill even better than has to with that in mind. The other Ferrari customer team, Alfa Romeo, currently have a spot open for 2023, and with Valtteri Bottas in the other seat, Mick could learn a lot. More than he ever could driving next to Magnussen, no offense Kevin. Zhou Guanyu is just over halfway through his rookie season in F1, and he's been quietly impressive. He has 2 points finishes, the same number as Mick. Both have an average finish of just better than 30th position. Zhou's problem is that his Alfa Romeo has a really bad habit of breaking down. Of his place at Alfa Romeo, Zhou says, "I feel like if I can keep going the way I am and keep getting better race by race, I see no reason why I shouldn't stay here." There isn't really a reason for team boss Fred Vasseur to pick Mick over Zhou at the moment, so that avenue may be closed off to Mick as things stand. The team with the most experience of developing young drivers is AlphaTauri. Yuki Tsunoda is out of contract at the end of the year and has, by all accounts, been a bit of a handful for the team. No matter how entertaining he may be, that doesn't earn you points at the end of the day, and he may be swapped out for someone with more potential. If Mick takes that spot though, he will definitely have to leave the Ferrari Driver Academy, which might spoil his chances of joining the Scuderia in the future. Not that Mattia Binotto would be overly bothered by that. The Ferrari team boss has reportedly been underwhelmed by Mick's performances in F1 so far. Would Red Bull really want to fill a space on their development team with a driver that isn't even from their own academy though? Probably not. That leaves only one place for Mick to go, assuming Gunther decides that Mick hasn't done enough to return to Haas in 2023. Williams are definitely going to have a seat free next year at the expense of Nicholas Latifi. The Canadian is also out of contract at the end of the season and has not been able to match the pace shown by Williams' new boy Alex Albon on a consistent basis. After stuttering home in 18th last time out in Hungary, Latifi is the only permanent member of the 20-driver grid not to notch a single point in 2022. Of course, they would have to want Mick though. This is a harder one to work out. In an ideal world, Williams would probably have a proven quantity. Someone who could benchmark their car for them. Someone who they know can score points if the car is capable of that. But does that person exist at the moment? I don't think so. If Mick has any chance of securing a seat in F1 next year, he's going to have to impress his current boss Gunther Steiner a lot more than he is doing at the moment. Or he's going to have to hope that Williams takes an interest in him. Because otherwise, we may be saying goodbye to the Schumacher name in 2023. Want to know more about what's happening in F1? Then click the video showing on your screen now, and I'll see you there.